Naruto the Last is a film canon to the main story. During a time skip that occurs between chapters 699 and 700, 2 years after the Fourth Shinobi World War, Naruto had to stop Hamura's descendant Toneri from using the moon to destroy the earth. But what if instead of Naruto, Sasuke was the one to fight Toneri? Could Sasuke win? And how would the outcome affect the timeline? So in what scenario would this even happen? Well, during the Naruto movie, Naruto is knocked out by Toneri after he demonstrates even a fraction of his power, stopping base form Naruto. But for the sake of the video, let's say in this situation, instead of a Hinobi rescue team waiting days for an unconscious Naruto to recover, they hit up Sasuke. So yeah, my boy Sasuke is now prepared to redeem himself by defeating Toneri, rescuing Hinata and Hinobi to save the world. Is this something he could realistically do? Well, of course Naruto could do this. It's also directly stated that he got slightly stronger since Shippuden, as well as gaining another half of Kurama. On the other hand, Sasuke may have actually got weaker since Shippuden. Now, I didn't actually notice this until now, but according to the 5th data book, which is based on Naruto the Last movie, Sasuke's height is 6 foot and his weight is 149 pounds. That's incredibly low, so is he anorexic? Well no, it's just that the author actually accounted for the weight decrease of Sasuke's lost arm. Yeah, as you guys can remember, he lost an arm, which would make him obviously not just lighter but weaker than he was originally, since as a swordsman he can only now use one-handed swings instead of double-handed swings, as well as losing his sense of balance. Of course, losing your dominant arm isn't a joke. It accounts for about 6% of your body's weight. Chakra is stored in every cell of a human body, meaning Sasuke losing his arm means he's actually losing chakra. His chakra reserves are decreased slightly. So are we meant to believe that this Sasuke can somehow beat Toneri? Well, to determine if Sasuke can even contend with Toneri, let's set the scene. How strong is Toneri? Sasuke should be able to sense Toneri's growing power and realize that it's similar to Kaguya's. If we take a look at the movie's box set, it actually says Toneri has a similar chakra to Kaguya. But this isn't necessarily power related, since Toneri is directly descended from Hamura, who was Kaguya's son. So it would make sense that genetically they might have similar chakra, meaning his chakra might just be Otsutsuki flavored. Now I'm not calling Toneri a snack or anything, but he probably shares a similar type of chakra to her. But interpreting it as Toneri being Kaguya level isn't stupid either, because there's also other promotional material claiming that Toneri is actually the most powerful antagonist, so he could be stronger than Kaguya. Although this is a little bit controversial, I tend to stray away from this because Kaguya was said to be the greatest threat that the ninja world had ever encountered up until the beginning of Boruto, as said in the blurb, meaning that Toneri throwing the moon around and destroying the earth, I quote, even causing complete planetary destruction, isn't anywhere near the expanding truth-seeking orb, obviously, since, Kaguya is nuking a dimension. Although I don't think necessarily having the better feat means you're stronger. Sometimes characters have really bad feats, but through scaling tend to be stronger than people who do have better feats. It's pretty common actually. If you take Dragon Ball, you have Vegito ripping apart cities, but we know Vegito should be stronger than anything Goku's done, since he's a fusion of both Goku and Vegeta. Now, even if you don't believe that Toneri is as strong as Kaguya, take into account when Toneri's Tenseigan faded after he was one-shot by Naruto, he was forced to absorb and fuse with the Tenseigan machine's Byakugan. With this newly acquired power, Toneri felt that he could blast the world away with a single blast. He, in his own words, said that he had reached a Hamura-like power level, enough to move the moon casually. Hamura in his prime should be, in all fairness, stronger than Kaguya, since alongside his brother, he also became a Tensei Shinchuriki, as well as possessing the Tenseigan, which is a Rinnegan counterpart. So even if Sasuke somehow managed to take out Tenseigan Chakra mode Toneri, would he fare even better against Hamura mode Toneri, who should be even stronger? Ultimately, the question we're all wondering is, did Sasuke ever reach Kaguya's level? Specifically during the last movie. Well, what do we know? After getting folded by Kaguya in Shippuden, even losing an arm, you'd think not, right? Even though Sasuke could technically harm Kaguya in Shippuden, as we all saw, the 80 Gods vacuum attack absolutely crushed his Susanoo. So it's not looking great for Sasuke. But the real question is, did he get stronger since Shippuden? To answer that, you firstly have to understand what the narrative and the direction of the series was after the defeat of Kaguya. According to Sasuke, in the Sunrise novel, which is set around the time he fights Chino, concerned by the fact that Kaguya had built an army, making him think that she must have been making an army for something. She was afraid of somebody even stronger than her, something. So he'd commit most of his time trying to figure out what exactly Kaguya was afraid of. Also trained to reach a level beyond Kaguya just in case. So in the same novel, the narrator even goes as far as saying that if a Kaguya level opponent ever invaded the Earth, then Sasuke was confident enough to face them single-handedly. And I know some people are going to be like, maybe Sasuke was lying, or just because he's confident doesn't mean he's true. And granted, it's not necessarily a fact, but the point is, Sasuke knows that there's going to be a threat stronger than Kaguya arriving eventually, so narratively that's what he's training for, right? During the same period, so remember all of this is set right before the last, Sasuke was also trying to learn new Rinnegan abilities and master new jutsu. In fact, the 5th data book even says that Sasuke during the last had the strongest dojutsu. Does this mean that the dojutsu that he carries, which he clarifies is the Sharingan and Rinnegan, are the 2 strongest? Well, technically speaking, they are dojutsu, but Kage's Rinne Sharingan is also dojutsu, which is surely more advanced since it has more Tomoe. Tomoe are those little black marks that look like Magatama within the Sharingan and Rinnegan. Now Kaguya has 9 Tomoe, whereas Sasuke only has 6. So I do think that her Rinnegan is technically more advanced, although maybe through training and the raw power of Sasuke's Rinnegan he managed to surpass it, most likely. Kind of like how in theory somebody with a normal Sharingan could be stronger than somebody with a Mangekyo Sharingan. Just because you have a higher level dojutsu doesn't make you stronger. For example, we know the Rinnegan is meant to be the direct improvement of the Sharingan, the greatest of the 3 dojutsu. However, you can argue that Itachi or maybe Sasuke with the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan is stronger than Pain's Rinnegan. It's really not that far-fetched, considering that the page also says that Sasuke mastered the strongest Genjutsu, meaning he'd probably actually gone out of his way to learn ninjutsu just like I said earlier. He could have actually learned the infinite Tsukuyomi, or even more scarily, a Genjutsu that's even more powerful. So I guess this does actually bring us on to whether I think Sasuke could actually beat Toneri or not. Now, it should at least be pretty close based on all the information that we do know and I've said already. But if I'm being honest, I was just pulling your leg. I didn't really need to tell you any of that, because whether Sasuke can win or not isn't really up for debate. I think it's pretty objective that he does win, and I'll tell you why. According to the last movie novel, the narrator says Sasuke is Kakashi's most troublesome, but most importantly most powerful student. Despite all this, all the members of Team 7 should be close in power, but Sasuke is clearly the strongest. The fact that he's stronger than Naruto, who managed to not only keep up with Toneri with just Kurama Chakra mode alone, without any 6 Paths powers. As you can see, when he uses Sage mode, the pigmentation can be seen. The pigmentation only disappears when he's using 6 Paths powers, meaning Naruto wasn't even using 6 Paths powers, yet he could fight somebody who's around Kaguya's level, showing how strong Naruto's gotten. This would make Sasuke at least a whole 6 Paths level stronger than somebody like Toneri. And now that's a massive gap. Do you guys remember what a massive power up gaining 6 Paths chakra even was for Naruto? The 6 Paths chakra alone was meant to be an amp even stronger than Naruto using Kurama's full avatar. It's that insane. Way stronger in fact. It's like this godly amp. So there you have it, Sasuke is meant to be stronger than Naruto in the movie, and stronger than Naruto in general, at least in a time, and Naruto's holding back. He did have 6 Paths powers, as shown in Boruto, you know, when he doesn't have a pigmentation using Sage mode. That in itself was quite an interesting debate, who would win between Naruto and Sasuke during the last. I know a lot of people were saying, oh, it's obvious, Naruto beat Sasuke because he's gained another half of Kurama, and he was already stronger than him in Shippuden. But that's wrong. I reckon Sasuke now is physically stronger and faster than Naruto, and he's obviously got a lot of hacks he can use to beat Naruto. Now we can also talk about Sakura, because Sasuke being the strongest member of Team 7 would make him stronger than her too, and she harmed Kaguya by breaking her horn back in Shippuden. She would shortly after build up enough chakra to recreate her seal. In Sakura Hiden, which is before the last, she actually manages to activate her Byakugo seal, which apparently removes the brain's restrictions over her, similar to the first gate, meaning the increased bare minimum is similar to the first gate, which increases the body's muscular capabilities from 20 to 100%. In other words, a 5 times increase. So in theory, Sasuke should be able to surpass Sakura, who can now punch 5 times stronger than she did back when she harmed Kaguya. Meaning, if Sasuke was to punch Kaguya, her head would just go flying off, and he could probably blast Kaguya with his other chakra-based attacks as well, like with Chidori, without any difficulty really. Not to say that would put Kaguya down, because we know she's got regeneration, just that he'd have an even easier time doing it during the loss, since he should be stronger than Kaguya. Which, like I said, makes sense. It's a narrative. That's what Sasuke was training to do. He was training to not only reach that level, but to surpass it completely, so that he's capable of protecting all of his friends and the world. Like, do you guys remember when Sasuke like punched Kaguya away with his Susanoo fist? Imagine that, but with like a 6 parts amp on top of whatever he had there. Like a steroid amped punch or something. In conclusion, if it isn't obvious enough, Toneri does get bodied by Sasuke, like no difficulty. He could even do it suppressed. Like Naruto, he could hold back and still beat Toneri, if he wanted to, of course. But the thing is, he doesn't tend to hold back. So he'll probably go full power, but not completely full power. We know he doesn't want to kill him, so he wouldn't go for vital areas or organs. He just wants to return Hanabi's eyes first. But I can imagine in a PG outcome, Sasuke would probably knock Toneri out like Naruto did with a single punch. But realistically, he doesn't really throw hands. He tends to use his sword very often. So I can imagine him just cutting Toneri's arm off in like a clash or something. And then Toneri just drops to the floor, he reverts back into base form, the Tenseigan fades away, and he's like screaming. Really brutal, but I can imagine Sasuke doing something like that. He really doesn't care about Toneri's well-being, other than the fact that he just wants to return Hinabi's eyes. Obviously, after losing, just like in the main timeline, he might lose control like he did against Naruto, which would mean that he would use the Tenseigan machine's Byakugan, fuse with it, be like Hamura level or something. But even then, I think Sasuke would still win by default. I can imagine him just obliterating Toneri with the Susanoo. Because like I said, reaching like Hamura's level, which is around Kaguya level, isn't strong enough to phase anybody like Sasuke. And he does tend to go for decisive kills. When he saw Madara transforming, tries to kill him instantly. When he sees Momoshiki transforming, he tries to like decapitate him instantly. I think what you guys really want to know is how does this affect the story? With Naruto out of this movie, the romance element is kind of sapped out of the movie. So Naruto and Hinata don't end up kissing at the end like they would normally. So what happens is Sasuke end up stealing Naruto's girl? Does he actually end up getting with like Hinata or something? It'd be funny if he did, but let's be honest, he wouldn't. Naruto and Hinata were clearly romantically aware of each other at the time, even before the point that Naruto was knocked out by Toneri. So I think they would have ended up together anyway, but it just would have been later. So all of it would have been delayed. Maybe Boruto's even born like a year later or something. I don't know. That's a little bit more headcanon-y. But what I can tell you is Sasuke as a hero would now be more accepted globally. He'd probably try to not take credit for it since, you know, he's meant to be the Hokage from the shadows. Like Itachi, he doesn't like taking credit or anything. But I think people would find out through rumors anyway. But with Toneri dead, the people on the moon would now have to find new leadership or disband, which is pretty interesting because it'd change a lot of things in Boruto, since now Toneri can't warn Boruto over Otsutsuki. Maybe it didn't really make that much of a difference, maybe it did, it's very hard to say. But to conclude, Sasuke wins without any difficulty against Toneri. It isn't even a debate really. If you think it is a debate, you can voice your opinion on what you think of his matchup. Maybe you do agree with me, but you think the outcome's slightly different. Like, I don't know, maybe Sasuke and Hinata have a kid and they get a spin-off series or something. If you think that, you can comment down below. Remember to like the video, subscribe, like it really does help me out, seriously. Check out these other videos and I'll see you next time. Peace.